Hey now, how are you? I wanted to pop on here real quick because I realized I haven't given any kind of an update on my kids lately. And you know, frankly, every day we have more stuff going on, so I thought I'd come on and share a little bit more about our progress, what's going on, new stuff. Let me fix this a little bit. Kind of give a little update on how we're doing and all of that. But anyway, if you don't already know me, Jennifer Edwards, coming to you from New Jersey. I am a work from anywhere mom of 3 little boys who are my biggest blessings and my biggest challenges. If you don't already know the story, I have 2 little boys who are working through something that's called PANDAS. It is a disorder, kind of an autoimmune thing that affects their brain and behavior more than anything else. And we've been working through it. You know, we finally got our diagnosis back in the end of December, December 23rd, actually. But, like, you know, we knew a little bit ahead of that what was going on. I am eternally grateful again to my friends who suggested that we look further into this. We have had a number of struggles with our kids, definitely behavior related. My middle child, his behavior has been mostly at home. It's like it doesn't happen at all at school, but like at home, he's neurotic and I'm not trying to be mean here, but he can be very neurotic. He has a lot of anxiety. He has a lot of weird things that happen. And thankfully it doesn't happen at school, but you know, it's been something that we've been working through. So if you haven't already heard our story, basically how we got to this place where we got a little bit of answers and we have some information and some things that we're working through. If you haven't already done so, go take a look at my other videos about this subject, because I did do one that where I went into how long it's been going on. For my middle son, it's been 3 years. For my oldest son, I mean, it could be as long as 8 years. But we don't really know because I don't remember like an abrupt onset of it. So anyway, definitely go back and check my old videos. You want to know more about PANDAS, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk about it, talk through symptoms, things like that. We almost did not get our kids checked for this, which requires blood work more than anything, and a doctor who is experienced at reading blood work and knows what to look for. That's really all it takes, and a lot of money. but that's another story. We almost didn't get this checked out because in the grand scheme of things, my kids don't have all of the criteria for PANDAS. And so I thought, you know, they don't have tics. You know, like, and tics in the traditional sense to me is like Tourette's, right? You know, now I see things that I didn't see back then, but that's a different story. They didn't have tics, they didn't have OCD, but I'm looking for OCD in the traditional sense with like adults, where you need to shut off the light and you need to check the stove 100 times to make sure it's off and like that kind of stuff. For kids, OCD is different. It is compulsive behavior where they have zero impulse control, and it is anxiety and anxiety over the craziest things. For example, my middle child was afraid of running water. And literally had like a full-fledged anxiety panic attack over the tub running water, thinking it was going to overflow and fill the house. He has that kind of anxiety over earthworms. So when it rains, he will not walk in the street. He will walk on the grass. And, you know, I did tell him that there were more in the grass, but he didn't care, whatever. So anyway, that's a little hindsight. So let me fill you in on the update, since I have to go get my number 1 firstborn child within 10 minutes. Yes, Tom, this is definitely not the experience we signed up for, but we will do everything possible to get them through this and get them to succeed through this. And I do have my middle child Panda home with me, so if he pops in here, you may meet him. But okay, so I wanted to share with you our experience today, so you get a glimpse of what our life is like. And I'm just putting this out there because this is one of those strange things that doctors don't believe. And, you know, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know where to go with this. So let me back up. Okay. So we've been doing, we saw Dr. Trifoletti in New Jersey, who's like the only expert in pandas and pans in New Jersey. And he is brilliant, but expensive and kind of hard to reach sometimes. So anyway, that's just being honest. So he gave us prescriptions. My boys, Andrew actually started antivirals more than a month ago. He did 40 days of antiviral medication because his trigger is mostly Coxsackie, and that's viral. So they wanted to treat that as the underlying trigger of his issues. He did 30 days, and then we went to see Dr. Trifoletti. He did another 10 days. Aiden only did 10 days altogether. And I'm trying to get answers on why only the 10 days and should we continue and whatever, and is what we're experiencing now part of this, but whatever, we'll find answers, right? Today, so anyway, they're on this antiviral, and I'm going without notes, so I'm doing a little different today, so forgive me if I'm all over the place. I really just wanted to get on here and get this done. So we got the 10 days of antiviral. And it was 10 in addition to Andrew's first 30, so he did 40. Then at the same time as the 10 days were prescribed, we also got 30 days of 2 different antibiotics, and my boys have been on those. So one is in the morning, one is at night, whatever. We've been doing really good with the antibiotics, no side effects. We've done minimal probiotics, but as you may know, I care about probiotics now, and this is the main reason, because we are killing everything with all of these antibiotics that they've been on. So we've been doing antibiotics, so, you know, things have been getting better. And, you know, Aiden's doing great, but Aiden was doing great before. He really doesn't have any issues as long as he doesn't have strep or is sick. And he's been fine. So Andrew is really the one that we watch and monitor, and you know, the outbursts are down tremendously for him, especially like the violent reactions are down a lot for him. He used to be like, which, you know, I can tell you from the outside it looks like a behavioral thing, but when I would tell him no, he would like hit me or kick or like freak out. Same with my husband. You know, he could ask 150 times for a donut at Dunkin' Donuts, and we could say no, we're not going to Dunkin' Donuts, and he'll kick the seat in the car and just freak out, and he'll ask 100 times. That behavior has decreased. He is more loving and definitely warmer towards us. He was very mean to my husband, telling him all the time, you know, how he didn't like him and he hated him and whatever. And now he, you know, he won't come out necessarily and tell him he loves him, but he'll give him a fist bump, and you know what I'm saying. People who have their boys, and especially boys and dads, you know, sometimes they're just not like affectionate as with their mom. Although he doesn't tell me he loves me either, but I know. And so, you know, things have been getting better with him. He's still with the vocal tics, which I consider them vocal tics. It's not what you would think, like a person with Tourette's, where they just repeat something over and over again and can't control it. He's actually saying words or sentences. Months ago it was die. Then it was poop. You know, it was like, it just all things that you would think he was doing to get an outburst from us, or get a reaction, a negative reaction from us. And now I realize, like, he really can't handle it. He really can't control this. And so we ignore it, or we try to do it back, and kind of hope that we kill him at his own game, right? Now it's all about talk about throwing up. Oh, I have to throw up. Or how was your school? How was school today? Maybe I want to throw up. Everything is throw up. So anyway, that's like his thing, or he just screams. So anyway, fast forward to today. Okay, for the past few days, now Andrew is 6, and so he's been potty trained since he was 3. Yes, I'm talking about you. Please don't come out here like that, because you're going to be on live camera. I may have to shut this off because my kid is running shrieking through my house naked. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, he has been potty trained since he was 3. We don't have accidents during the day. Once in a while he wears pull-ups at night. But I have found, like, when he has flare-ups with PANDAS, they're wet, but 90% of the time they're dry. And so, this is interesting to me. And since being on antibiotics, I noticed something interesting with him where, and this came up, this is a PANDAS symptom, okay? It's like urinary frequency. He feels like he has to pee all the time, even when he just peed, especially when he just peed, he feels like he has to go back. And so that's been a thing that we've been dealing with now for a couple of months, and that was really what triggered me to go to the specialist and get this done. And that came up the last time he had strep and started antibiotics. Like, I was literally having to stop every 5 seconds in the car, like, whatever. He thought he had to pee. So we've been dealing with this. So it's peaked. So since the weekend, so like he actually had, and I feel kind of bad like putting him out there and sharing all this. But he actually had like 2 accidents while he was awake watching YouTube. He didn't feel like going to the bathroom. He had to go, felt like he had to keep going, got annoyed, got lazy, and said, you know what, I am not moving, and then he had an accident. Same thing happened the next day. So, he's been asking me if he could wear pull-ups during the day, and I'm just kind of like, you know what, if we're home, I know it's not like a potty training thing or a laziness thing, because I know he really does care and doesn't like to do that anymore. But anyway, so there's been that. And then past couple of days, he's been, just so good and calm and happy. And then all of a sudden, he'll get upset because he has to pee after he just peed, and he's getting annoyed. Do you want to come say hi or no? Oh, that's a problem. Want to come say hi now that you have clothes on? Come say hi.
Hello.
Say hi. All right. So anyway, it's been something that I was really concerned about. And so I called the pediatrician this morning, just because I was like, let me just rule out the whole UTI thing. And he's on antibiotics. I mean, really, how could he have a UTI? You're going to make me crazy. You know that? So I took him, and of course, when I walk in there and I tell the doctor about PANDAS, she looks at me like a deer in headlights. Has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, great. Then I tell her about the antibiotics that he's been taking, and she's like, no reactions? Like, they're appalled. People are appalled. When I went to pick up the prescriptions for these boys, the people at the pharmacy were appalled by the fact that they were given all of these meds. And I understand that we are like, creating superbugs and all that other stuff because of, oh my gosh, you're going to put him on me and he's going to scratch. Say hi to Max. Poor Max. So, yeah, anyway, they were all appalled, and yet nobody can give me any answers. So I just wanted to share this because this is the reason why we persist and why we find other parents and why there are support groups for PANDAS, and why you need to ask questions and be open about what you are experiencing with your kids, because you don't get answers from doctors. So like I said, we went to the doctor. He had to pee in a cup. No sugar issues, and negative for any kind of bacteria. So there's no answer at all to why he's doing this. And what it comes down to, I mean, what I'm writing it off as is just like a tic or an OCD kind of thing that he's dealing with. And I'm hoping that it gets better. It's taking some time, but we're hopeful that it gets better, and that we find answers and figure out what we can do. And we're doing a million other things, by the way, besides antibiotics. I just thought that I'd put this out there. Like I said, we're diligent now about probiotics in their diet. Going to try a new one that's a powder that you can take without water, put on their tongue, whatever. Hopefully that works. I am doing a couple of supplements, which is inositol, which is helps. I believe I always get these screwed up, okay, but there's B1 and inositol. B1 is thiamine, and inositol. One is for anxiety, and one helps with OCD. And so, like, I'm mixing a little bit of that stuff in grape juice. We're doing transfer factors, which help your body build up immune IQ. And, you know, this is just stuff that I've gathered, but the transfer factors help your body. It's like cow colostrum, basically, but it helps your body to remember illnesses and fight those illnesses, and it helps with like autoimmune things over time, because it's helping your body fight what it needs to fight. And then lastly, we're doing a lot of essential oils. We're doing copaiba oil. We're doing oregano oil on the feet, because I want to deal with something that's called biofilm, where maybe they have bacteria hiding under or in their tonsils and things like that. So I want to break that down so that the antibiotics are really getting into everything that they need to get into. Anyway, I'm sharing a lot with you today. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about this. I just wanted to share with you, you know, kind of what we're going through and how we're going. And now my kid is bugging me to log into something, but we have to go pick up my oldest. And thank you again for listening. If you have questions, let me know. If you found this helpful, drop something in the comments. I didn't even ask you guys to interact with me, but like, really, let me know, you know, if you're getting value from this. If you feel free to share this with someone who might need to hear about it. And thank you all so much for your support. Just listening and knowing that you're here and listening really does make us feel better. So thank you so much. You're making me crazy, kid. All right, talk to you. Bye.